Hey guys, Mike with Financeable here, tackling another interview question today. The question today is, what's the difference between cost of goods sold or COGS and SG&A? We have a lot more videos like these coming, so if you find these helpful, definitely hit subscribe, and if you like the video, definitely hit the like button down below. Let's hop in. So this question, what's the difference between COGS and SG&A, can pop up as a standalone question, or it can be kind of a side tangent from walk me through an income statement. Now, admittedly, we're only looking at the upper part of an income statement, but either way, you want to understand what these two categories of costs mean. To contextualize this, let's imagine that we have a cookie making company that produces cookies that are then sold in grocery stores. So to walk through this, at the top of our income statement, we have revenue. Revenue would be the dollars in from our customers when we sell the cookies. The cost of goods sold would be the cost of the actual cookies, including any cost of production, and we'll actually come back to that concept in a second. The gross profit is really the core profit of the operations of kind of what we do. So we're selling cookies, so the profit from the actual sale of the cookies is gross profit. Then we have SG&A, and SG&A is all of our overhead. So let's imagine we had a corporate headquarters with a sales staff and things like that. That would be SG&A. That would be your overhead costs that are not directly tied to making the cookies, but they support the operations. One quick note here, SG&A is also referred to in the finance world as OPEX, or operating expenses. So you can use that almost interchangeably in most cases with SG&A, just a quick aside. After SG&A or OPEX, we get down to operating income, which is how much money we made from the operations after deducting all of our overhead costs. So it's the kind of core profit of the business. It's also called EBIT, or earnings before interest and taxes. This is the money the business makes before we have interest and tax payments. So now let's talk about this in a little bit more detail, and I'm going to shrink our income statement here and move it over. And as we said, cost of goods sold is really our production costs. And all the cost of anything that goes into production or producing the goods that we sell are cookies. And then SG&A is what we refer to as an overhead cost. And that's everything that is not directly tied to production. So let's talk about what would go into each of those categories. I'm actually going to get rid of both of these now to do that. So to do that, let's create buckets here. We'll create a bucket for our cost of goods sold and a bucket for our SG&A costs. And down below, I have some additional costs detailed that I've listed out here that we can use. So first, cost of goods sold, or COGS, down below is going to include our raw materials. So the raw cost of the cookies, the kind of the dough, the chips, and so on. But then any labor or overhead, factory cost, labor costs, and so on, that's directly tied to the production of those cookies. So it's the all-in cost of everything that is tied to actually producing the cookies. Then we have our SG&A costs, again also called OPEX in a lot of cases. And this includes our sales and marketing costs, which do drive sales, but just not directly. They don't directly drive sales, or they aren't directly the actual sale of the product. We then have rent, and we have a variety of other labor and overhead items that are not tied to the operations of the business. So these would be things like utilities, like insurance, payroll expense. So the punchline here is cost of goods sold are production costs and anything related to production. SG&A is anything that's not related to production, and that's what we call our overhead costs. So if I were asked this in an interview, the answer would simply be cost of goods sold are our production costs, and SG&A are all our overhead costs not directly tied to production. It's as simple as that. So hopefully this helped you clarify the difference between COGS and SG&A. If you like this video and you're aiming for finance, we have a lot more of these videos coming. Definitely hit the like button down below and subscribe, and we'd love to see you soon.